Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. How are you guys doing today on this Monday? I hope all is well. You guys are doing well. And thank you for showing up, supporting the channel, and telling others about this channel. I really appreciate you guys. Um, Thank you for letting me know the messages that are resonating with you because I see the comments as well. And keep showing up here because if something doesn't resonate with you today, it will certainly resonate with you in a future video. Keep in mind that I'm not a therapist, I'm not a social worker or a counselor. I'm just someone who talks about ways that I've overcame trials and trauma, tribulations and challenges that no one person should go through, like a domino effect. And I talk about ways that I overcame it rather, and that I didn't succumb to the pain and let it take over myself. I went into prayer with God, asked Him to help me, and I drew my strength from God. And a key factor, as I've been talking about lately, is to persevere through all of it. Keep going, even though you don't know where it might take you. Know that if you take in God's hand, that He's going to help you get through it. But just don't give up because we're talking about your physical and mental health. You know, without that, you can't do anything for yourself or anyone or anything else. So, with that being said, guys, keep in mind that we are here to help each other, to build each other up, and not to tear each other down. There's so much of that going on right now in this world. And what I've been trying to do lately is keep myself away from the toxicity. That's the way I'm going to say it on this channel here, because there's a lot of that going around today. And it seems like that seems to be the norm, and I just keep myself away from it. Always, music is the healing source for me, prayer, meditation, and fasting. You know, I go to the gym a lot to help keep myself healthy and in tune. And guys, do things that's going to uplift you and help others to do the same. That's what this is all about here at this channel. Okay, guys, with that being said, let's get into this topic of discussion today. The topic is never give your time to the wrong situations. Never give your time to the wrong situations. And when I think of this topic, I think about, where I came from when it um, has to do with letting the wrong folks in my life, whether it's a friendship, romantic situation, or business setting, or family. Just putting up with unnecessary toxicity because you're connected to these people in one way or the other. What I had to do is heal first, heal all of the trauma and the negative things that happened. And then as I heal, I start to self care and self love. And when you get to a point that you self love, we all supposed to do that. We all supposed to heal from these traumas and things that trauma bind us. Because, like I used the metaphor, if we don't do that, we're taking luggage and suitcase and those tons of bricks that I refer to all the time. We're carrying those burdens on our back to new connections, new situations. Whether it's a business environment or whether it's a you know friendship, romantic, whatever it is. And we're carrying those bricks when we need to heal those things so that we can throw those bricks off our back. And it's not easy because what I've noticed is that before I start the therapy, just not addressing the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room, the metaphor I use, is growing bigger and bigger. And we're just walking around it pretending it's not there. Because as I grew up in the house I grew up in, what happens in this house stays in this house. And it doesn't matter if you traumatized by it or you're affected to the point where you can't function by it. But we're going to keep it on the down low here. We're going to sweep this under the rug, so to speak. But when people do that, as I talked about in prior videos, you don't grow, heal, and evolve. You're stuck and stagnated in a pain. And you carry that weight, those tons of bricks with you wherever you go, whatever you do, whatever you do and wherever you go, you carry that with you. And in order to heal that, you have to look and address the elephant in the room. And I had to look at a lot of pain and hurts and things that happened to me in my life and address it. People hate when you address it, because you're looking at the truth of the matter. This caused me pain, and et cetera and so forth. And people don't want to acknowledge the take responsibility for the part they played in something toxic. And once I did that, I learned to do that through therapy, and just self-love. When you start the self-care and self-love, and you start to heal, grow, and evolve, you don't you become allergic to the toxicity. Let's say it that way. You don't want it in your life anymore, because you get to a place when you do the work to heal and you see what it is and you start to heal. You want inner peace, not to be broken down into pieces. So the toxicity that you used to just ignore, now you don't want it around you. I know I don't. So I minimize it as much as I can. I wish we can get rid of it altogether, but the world we live in today. But what I do is that I don't allow it to take over my life, because some people succumb to it, and and I just don't allow that, because as I heal, grow, and evolve, my peace and my mental health means everything to me. One of the things that I'm going to talk about here is giving to the wrong situation. Sometimes people who are connected to us, whether it's family or people we grew up with or just people we work around or whatever the case is. One of the things I have a hard time understanding is the envy, the jealousy, and the hate. It's so unjustifiable, and especially when I see men hating on women just because that woman is independent and they are carrying their own situations and burdens, and they are within alignment within their lives, and someone and they're hating on that, being envious, making um, sly remarks. And what I learned to do, I am so self-disciplined. I just look, smile, walk away. But if it's necessary to say something, I just, it's not even worth it, but it just makes me wonder what is broken in their life that they have to hate on somebody else who's done nothing to them, just because that person is within alignment and within their own life, and somebody's hating on that, somebody who did all the work. It's just like doing all the work to get a position, and someone hates you because you did all the work and everything, and you have the credentials to do a specific position, and because they don't have that, because they don't want to do the work, so they're hating on you because of it. So things like that is just the things that make me see how toxic certain people are in this world today. And never, what I do today, I don't give my time to it. I used to try to like sit down and have conversations and try to understand why people feel that way. And after doing that, I realized that people will hate on you just because they don't want to see you win. And that's the conclusion I came to within my own excuse me, my own situations and circumstances is what I meant to say. Um, because people will, hate you, shake you up, berate you just because they don't want to see you win. And this is why I named this, video today, never give your time to the wrong situations. Because if you're around people like that, you know, just minimize your time with them. If you have to be in certain situations, what I do is just, I don't give my time to it. And if I have to, due to whatever reasons, then I'm very quiet. I just don't have a lot I just don't give my time to it. It is so important that we work on ourselves today because, like I said, there's a lot of stuff going on in this world today, mainly toxic situations. And I just refuse to give in to that. When you do the work to heal, you want peace. My mom said before she passed away, you know, I was having an issue with a sibling, ongoing issue, and she was telling her side of the story, and I was telling my side of the story. And my mom just got to the point where she said, at this point in my life, I don't want to hear any of this. I just want peace. And for the first time in my life, as I start to heal and grow, I understand what she meant by that. Peace is so much better than all this drama, especially as we get older and you know we you you just don't want to be around that. I know I don't. And I just, it doesn't matter whether it's family, a relationship, a business setting. If it's toxic and full of toxicity, what I do is set strong boundaries. And when the boundaries are dismissed, disrespected, I just cut off, block, and delete. And I had to do that a lot so that I can stay on this path to heal. And some people call it selfish or whatever, but it's not selfish because I think it's if you don't do these things, I think neglecting your health, your mental and physical health, and not taking care of yourself is neglectful. So it's important that we take care of ourselves because, like I said, without that, we can't do anything for ourselves or anyone else. And I just, the gossip, the hate, the jealousy, all of that stuff, I leave it where it is. And then I go over here and stay to myself. And a lot of times, that's one way I heal through music, through writing, and just uplifting videos, comedy shows, laughter will help you. It's important to have people around you who support you, instead of people questioning uh, what you're doing and people don't like that you're healing. I stay far away from those type of situations. Keep your environment as toxic free as you can, because you can't get away from it 100%, but you can minimize it by setting boundaries and let people know you're setting boundaries, and if they disrespect them, emphasize it again. It's important to keep going and take care of yourself. Like I said, the key factor is to persevere through these trials and tribulations. That's how I overcame a lot of these things. Because sometimes people will come into your life and you think people really care about, some of these folks really care about you, and they could be envious of you, bringing negativity to your front door, etc., because they don't want to see you win. And then when you cut them off, like in my case, when I cut some of these folks off, they get angry and they, go behind the scenes and start malicious lies and everything else. And I had to persevere through all of that, because it's a betrayal to me. And, so you got to work through the pain and keep going. The key factor is to keep moving forward. Ask God to help you because this wasn't a one-man show. I had to stay in prayer, stay focused, and still move forward even though I didn't know how this was going to turn out. Like these problems and situations, a resolution, we don't have an instruction book for these things. But like I said, I trust God and I keep moving. So guys, keep your environment as toxic free as you can. And, think about not giving your time to negative and toxic situations because that can weigh you down as well, you know and keep your life within alignment. And when I say within alignment, you know, you feel better, you do better. Music, things, take time for yourself on a daily basis to uplift your spirit. Do things that make you feel good about yourself, you know, and just take care of yourself and be around people who support you, you know. And if you have to close some doors, know that as you close those doors and you keep working on yourself, asking God to help you, He's going to open up new doors. I'm proof of that. God has opened up new doors on my behalf as I keep going. Like I said, I don't know, you know, how this is going to turn out. I just trust God. It's just like having a box of pieces of puzzle. You don't know what that picture is until you start sitting down and putting those pieces together, and then you see what the picture is, what the outcome is. So never give up on yourself. It's so important, guys. It is better to be at a place of inner peace instead of broken down into pieces. That's the message today, guys. I'll be back with a new message tomorrow. Subscribe to the channel so that you know when I'm here and you can join me, or you can watch at a later time. And please invite others to show up here. You guys enjoy the rest of your Monday, and I'll see you sometime tomorrow. Thank you for being here. This is Lisa shedding love and light to you all. And bye for now, guys. Have a good Monday.